Hey, welcome back. Hit subscribe and drop a like right now because today's video is genuinely personal for me. And I think if you know this book, you'll feel exactly the same way. I need to say this out loud because I still can't quite believe it. Hollywood is making the Master and Margarita. I have been waiting for this my entire life. This novel, Bulgakov's masterpiece, is one of the greatest books ever written. Not greatest Russian books, greatest books. Period. And for years, for decades, I watched Hollywood take on everything. Every superhero, every sequel, every remake, and somehow never touched this. And now it's happening. But here's the part that completely broke me. The man producing this film is Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, my favorite actor of all time. The man who made me fall in love with cinema. And he chose this, of all the projects in the world, he chose The Master and Margarita. I genuinely don't have words for what I felt when I read that headline. My two greatest loves, this novel and this actor, coming together in one film. If you've ever had a dream so specific that you never even said it out loud because it seemed too impossible, that's what this is for me. That dream just became real. I'll be honest, there is one thing that worries me. This novel is enormous. 3 interlocking storylines, dozens of irreplaceable characters, and a Hollywood film will be around 2 hours. 2 hours for a book that could fill 10. Every single character in this novel is extraordinary. Woland, Margarita, the Master, Behemoth, the talking cat, Pontius Pilate. The thought that some of them might be compressed or cut, that genuinely hurts. But my happiness right now is so much bigger than my worry. So let's talk about everything we know. First, the man behind the book, because his story is just as extraordinary as the novel itself. Mikhail Bulgakov was born in Kyiv, Ukraine, then part of the Russian Empire, on May 15, 1891. He later moved to Moscow, where he spent most of his adult life writing in Russian. He became one of the most important writers of the Soviet era, and one of the most persecuted. Stalin personally banned many of his works. Bulgakov wrote to the Soviet government, "Not being allowed to write is tantamount to being buried alive." They ignored him. He began writing The Master and Margarita in secret in 1928. In 1930, facing the crushing reality that he would never be allowed to publish freely, he burned the first manuscript himself, just as his character, the Master, does in the novel. Then he started again. He worked on it in secret for 12 years, until his death in 1940. He never saw it published. His wife Elena, the real Margarita, hid the manuscript for decades. A heavily censored version finally appeared in 1966. The full novel wasn't published until 1973. To read the uncensored version, Russians smuggled copies across borders and passed them hand to hand underground. The most famous line in the book is spoken by the devil himself. "Manuscripts don't burn." Bulgakov wrote that knowing his own might. So what is in this book that terrified an entire government? The devil arrives in 1930s Moscow, not as a monster, but as a sophisticated foreign professor named Woland, accompanied by a giant talking black cat called Behemoth, who drinks vodka and plays chess. Together they expose the greed, hypocrisy, and cowardice of Soviet society, while nobody in power can stop them. Woven into this chaos, a love story between a struggling writer and the woman who will sacrifice everything for him. And a parallel story, Pontius Pilate, Jerusalem, and the trial of Jesus Christ. In a country where the state was supposed to be the highest power, a story where the devil walks freely through Moscow and no authority can touch him was considered a direct threat. The official synopsis for the upcoming film puts it perfectly. A fantastical, satirical tale of love, artistic freedom, and the eternal battle of good versus evil. In December 2025, at the Red Sea International Film Festival in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Johnny Depp made a surprise personal appearance to announce the first ever English language feature adaptation of The Master and Margarita. The film is being produced under Depp's own production company, IN.2 Film, alongside producers Svetlana Dali and Grace Lowe, with Stephen Deuters and Stephen Mallet also producing. The project is being developed in collaboration with Tribune Pictures. This is Depp in full creative control mode, not acting for a paycheck, but choosing a project that is clearly deeply personal to him. He flew there himself to announce it. That tells you everything. And here is the historical weight of this moment. Despite attempts by Roman Polanski, Federico Fellini, Terry Gilliam, and Baz Luhrmann, this novel has never been adapted for the big screen in English. 4 legendary directors. All of them failed to get it made, and now Johnny Depp is taking the swing that nobody else could land. Here's where we have to be completely honest about where the project stands right now. No director is attached yet. No casting announcements have been made. Depp himself is confirmed as producer only, not as an actor. Filming is expected to begin in late 2026, pending financing, a director, and a full cast. A release date has not been set, most likely 2027 or later. There is also a legal complication nobody is talking about. A Russian-language adaptation directed by Michael Lokshin came out in 2024, critically acclaimed across Europe. But its release in the US and UK has been blocked by an ongoing legal dispute over the rights to the novel. American audiences still cannot see it, so right now, the Russian version exists and Americans can't watch it. The English version doesn't have a director yet. It's a standoff around one of the greatest novels ever written. And now the question that every single fan is asking. If Depp is producing and decides to step in front of the camera, who does he play? Woland, the devil, is suave, mysterious, wickedly funny, and completely untouchable by any system of power. He wears disguises. He exposes hypocrites. He operates entirely by his own rules and answers to no one. Johnny Depp has spent his entire career playing exactly that kind of character. Captain Jack Sparrow, the Mad Hatter, Hunter S. Thompson. He is the producer, which means he has full creative control over the casting. Depp as Woland. Depp as the devil walking through Moscow. We don't know if it's happening, but tell me it shouldn't. The Master and Margarita survived Stalin. It survived censorship, bans, and decades of suppression. It was written in secret, burned and rewritten, smuggled across borders, and read underground. A writer born in Kyiv, who moved to Moscow, who was told his words had no place in this world, and whose words outlived the entire system that tried to silence him by half a century. And now, finally, the world gets to see it in English. I hope they do it justice. With everything I have, I hope they do. Drop your take in the comments. Have you read the novel? Who do you want to see as Woland, as Margarita, as the Master? And if Johnny Depp plays the devil, are you in? Like this video and subscribe. The moment any casting news or a director announcement drops, I will cover it immediately. See you in the next one.